Hey there, you guys. This is Christina with leadsandleverage.com. How are you? I am excited to be here again with you today. I have officially changed the name of this. There has been no name. I've just been doing live stream, but I'm going to call it Ribbit. Hashtag Ribbit, because I love my frog. So if you haven't seen my frog, I love my frog. And I have a lot to share with you guys. So we're going to talk, and I'm just going to call it Ribbit because, you know, it doesn't make any sense, but I like it. So today, I welcome you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're watching this in replay, do me a favor and in the comments, let me know you're here. I do this because I like to get to know you guys and I want to get to know about you and what you're struggling with and how I can help you. So put yourself in the comments. Just tell me where you're coming in from or where you're listening from. And I'm going to have a question of the day for you in a few minutes, but go ahead and put in comments that you're here so I know that you're here watching this in replay. Today, we're actually going to talk about, I got a question, and this question it's actually really good. It's kind of not related to Facebook, but you know, in a roundabout way it is, because the question was from one of my Facebook Domination Secret members, and she said, should we spend money on targeted direct mail? My office manager is really pushing it. And there's a little bit more to this, and I'm going to talk about it as soon as we get to there, but if you're watching in replay, that's what we're talking about. And if you're watching this live, I've got a couple of live watchers now. If you're watching this live, hello, Mary. You need my coffee today. I'm going to give it to you. I'll give it to you. I'll give you energy. Welcome, live viewers. Let me know you're here, just like Mary did. Let me know you're here, and I'm going to have some sort of silly question of the day. I haven't figured it out yet, but I will have some sort of random, off-the-wall, silly question of the day. And maybe not so silly. It kind of depends. But we're going to talk about, for all you live people watching, we're going to talk about, this question was asked me recently inside my Facebook Domination Secret membership. Should we spend money on targeted direct mail? My office manager is really pushing it. So I love that this is a great topic. It can integrate with all that we've got. And it's really good because I know that a lot of times we get pushed to do things that we're not comfortable with or we don't have the budget for, but we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to give you some strategic ways. Well, I think we should talk about how to deal with office managers, first of all, and second, some strategic things. And I'll give you some answers on that question. So we're going to go into there. Yes, energy. Yeah, that's kind of something that, Mary, I have never drank coffee. Well, I've tried. I can't stand it. I've never drank any coffee. And I just thought I would be so insane if I actually drank caffeine of any type. I would be like off the wall bonkers because I have a lot of energy anyway, so I couldn't even imagine. I don't think anybody would want to put up with me if I was actually on caffeine of any sort. And I love energizing people. That's what I like. We all have, I know what it is. Okay, here's the question. Here's the question of the day. I was thinking about this. I was at a conference, I don't know, a while ago. And one of the things the person said was, we all have a superpower. Okay. We all have a superpower. And if we into what that superpower is, we can share it with others. So my question for you, so for example, my superpower, I know that anytime I'm with people or around people, I have a superpower. I energize people. I love to just give energy, and I love to get people kind of pumped up and energetic. My internet connection is weak. I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody got on. Okay, sorry. So every time somebody in the house gets on or off the internet for some reason, hi guys, sorry about this internet. Every time somebody jumps on and off, if for some reason it affects. And so now I think we have everybody off. Would you let everybody know? Thanks. Cool. Awesome. All right. So we're back. So, anyway, back to the superpowers. My question of the day. I want to know what your superpower is. And I was explaining to you what superpower means. We each have something that is very unique to us that we can do. Like the person that I was at a conference, he talks about how he's just able to attract really awesome people into his sphere. And he wasn't saying that I'm awesome. It just means that he has this way to attract people who just really are awesome, and they help create a great environment, a great atmosphere around him. And so what's your superpower? Mine is I energize. I love to energize people. I love to do that for people. I love to do it for myself. It kind of energizes me. So if you think about it, if you would share in the comments what you feel your superpower, but what do you feel your superpower is? What do you feel that is? Hi, Yvonne. Happy Monday to you too. Hey, Catherine, I see you guys, you too. Some people it shows me when you guys pop in. Others it only shows me when you comment. So make sure you comment. If you're watching this in replay, comment. If you're watching this live, comment. Let me know what you think your superpower is. Tenacity. That's an awesome one. Yes, that is definitely a superpower. Some people, I do know someone whose superpower is being stubborn. That's kind of along the same lines as tenacity. And it's funny because she just gets things done. She just gets through it and she persists and persists and persists. And that's the same as tenacity, but that's a superpower. So my question of the day, my wonky question of the day is, what is your superpower? That's really what my question is. All right. So we are going to talk about this topic of whether you should spend money on direct mail. So the question actually is, and I tried to write it down word for word so I could read it to you so we could focus around that. So one of my FDS members asked me, should we spend money on targeted direct mail? My office manager is really pushing it. And then she goes on to say, the direct mail I'm looking at will eat up most of my budget within 5 months. Now, she shared what her budget was with me, but I'm just going to leave that out of the equation, because the number doesn't matter. So should we spend money on targeted direct mail? My office manager is really pushing it. The direct mail I'm looking at will eat up most of my budget within 5 months. So let's talk a little bit about this. I have a question for you guys. Have any of you ever done direct mail for your real estate business? So let me know, just yes, no, yes, you've done direct mail. No, you haven't. So just a basic yes or no right now. Have you done direct mail for your real estate business? And I'm gonna log onto the computer so that I can see if you guys are asking questions that I'm not seeing, because I'm noticing that not all questions are coming across to me while I'm live. All right, so let me know. Sandy has, Sandy, your question didn't show up on the computer, but it showed up on here. Yes, you have done direct mail, awesome. And Yvonne, no, you have not done direct mail. Okay, anyone else? Yes, no, maybe so. Tons. Mary said, stubborn people are the bane of my existence. My son could win the Olympics in stubbornness. That's funny. Tons of direct mail. Rachel's done, yes, great, direct mail. Okay, cool. Yep. Okay, so now, yep, Mary's done it too. Okay, so now my question for you guys is, if you've done direct mail, what were your results? And I don't need numbers. I mean, did you like it? Did it do for you what you hoped it would do for you? Or did you get a result from it that you were happy with? How did it work for you? And I'm going to share while you're answering that. So let me know that while you're answering that, one of the ways, because we started in real estate in 1995, and the web was just coming around, not a lot of people were on it. In fact, most people weren't on it. But we were very heavy direct mail. So I've got a lot of experience and a lot of results to share with you on direct mail. For years, we did direct mail. When I launched other businesses outside of real estate while I was in real estate, I started them through direct mail. I would start them differently now because it's just a lot easier to target different ways. However, direct mails can be pretty awesome, but there are some tricks. There are some things that you need to know about doing it right. But I'm going to first focus on this question, which was, should I? And the fact that her budget only allows for about 5 months. So I'm going to talk about that first. You guys have some key points in when you're facing this dilemma yourself. So did you have the results you hoped or wanted or liked if you did direct mail? So did you have good results? We did. There were sometimes there wasn't so much great results, but we did have pretty good results. What were your results? Let me know in the comments what your results were. I know the connection's a little bit weak. I think it's probably garbled. Cherish said the area we marketed worked before. Marketed were great because the agent was already well known and it was a much older generation. The newer areas we have tried haven't been so good. Okay. All right. Any other input on that, guys? Any other questions on direct mail? Or not questions, but thoughts on that? Because I'm going to get into some of the steps. I'm going to address the questions first. So as you're answering, let me know if you've done direct mail, and then also let me know what your results were. And I don't mean numbers. I don't mean, I got X many listings. Just say, were you happy? Were you happy with the results from your direct mail? That's really what I'm looking for. So this first part of this question is the big one. Should we spend money on targeted direct mail? That's the first part. The second part of the question is, my office manager is really pushing it. Then the third part of this question is, the direct mail I'm looking at will eat up most of my budget within 5 months. So first of all, let's talk about office managers. Let's talk about brokerage owners. Let's talk about mentors and coaches and all this kind of stuff. Okay. So there's two different realms here. There's your office manager and your broker, or your mentor or whatever. Mentor would fall under coach, but so let's start with the one. First of all, when it comes to building your real estate business, and I'm going to preach this until I die, when it comes to building your real estate business, you have got to almost plug your ears against what your brokerage or office manager thinks you should do. You almost really do, because so many of them, most of them, are tied into old school methods that didn't really work all that well. Now, some things worked better in different situations and everything, but they have us doing things when there are better methods to it. So, I just want you guys to know that. Catherine, I hope you can hear me. Yeah, that's part of sometimes there's just delays, and maybe I'll get a weak signal notification, so it kind of pauses and garbles, and then sometimes you'll get a weak signal notification. That's part of the pieces of live stream that they're trying to fix and bring up and do better. So that's kind of par for the course right now. Sandy, I've never gotten any results from direct mail. I have done it about 3 or 4 times. Okay, awesome. Okay, so just so you guys know, I don't always see all your questions, so I need to check both on the computer and on the phone, because some don't come over to me. It's very weird on the computer. So let's just start with the office manager piece. If you have a coach, if you have a business coach or a coach that you're paying, you need to trust that coach, and you need to trust that coach, and you need to do what your coach says to do. Okay, so coaches are separate for what I'm sharing about this. Your coach you are paying, you found them and chose them because of what you feel they can guide you to do. So you need to implement what they recommend, plain and simple. That's a coach. That's what they're there for. Okay. Now, office managers, brokerage owners, things like that, different ball game. Yes, they have a vested interest in you making money because they make money, but at the same time, most of them don't know how to actually help you be successful as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. They know how to get you a listing or two or a buyer or two. Okay. I don't know that any of them are actually direct mail experts. We're talking about direct mail. I don't know that any of them are actually online lead generation experts. So you need to find the expert in the field that you want to learn from. So for example, direct mail, don't let your office manager push you to do something that you're not comfortable doing. If you don't want to spend your money on direct mail, don't. If you don't want to spend your money on Facebook ads, don't. If you don't want to cold call 100 people a week, don't. You have to do something. You have to, if you're going to lead generate and build your business, you have to do something. And you probably need more than one thing. In fact, I know you do. However, those things you can choose things that work well for you and your personality and the way you like to engage with people. If you love being face to face, then you need to go be face to face. If you are more introverted, then guess what? You really need to seriously look into direct mail or Facebook ads or social media or something along those lines. Make it fit your personality so that it works, so that you will continue to do it. So there's that. So be careful with what office managers tell you to do. Most of the time, they have no idea what actually works. Something random happens, but they can't make it happen again. They can't keep duplicating the process. So I'm going to tell you and show you how to get direct mail to work for you, because it works, guys. Direct mail works. But there are some key things that most agents, in fact, I haven't met an agent yet that actually understands how or why direct mail works. So we're going to attack those. Okay? Today, does that make sense, you guys? Let me see. That's awesome. Sandy said 80 to 90% of my leads come from Facebook and tips that I have used from you. That's fabulous, Sandy. I love that. So you had 110 sides last year. That's fabulous. That is fabulous. So that's awesome. So it works for you. It works what I mean by, I don't mean for you, I mean it works for your personality. It works for how you like to do business. And that's what I mean. So if you're thinking that direct mail or any of these other things don't suit you, then you need to look at other methods. There are a lot of ways you guys can lead generate. There are a lot. But today we're going to talk about direct mail because quite frankly, it works. But there are a few caveats, okay? So let's start. Should we spend money on targeted direct mail? My answer is yes and no. I know you love that. My answer for that is maybe, maybe not. That depends on several things. It depends on, well, the first one is, do you have a plan? Okay. Do you have a plan? Do you have a budget that will last you a minimum of 18 months? Okay. Do you have a plan to direct mail people, get something in front of their face no less than every 2 weeks? That means not once a month. That means every 2 weeks, twice a month, or 24 to 26 times a year. Okay. So if you don't have the budget or the income coming in to sustain a twice a month direct mail campaign to the same people for 18 months, no, you should not do direct mail. It's that easy. Now, here's the thing where we get mixed up with direct mail. Some of us use some vendors that do predictive analytics and predictive marketing. And here's why we get frustrated that we're not getting the results in some of this direct mail. It's because predictive analytics or predictive marketing behavior, it's not so accurate yet. It's getting better, but it's not so accurate yet. So here's what's happening. We're doing direct mail maybe twice a month, but it's not going to the same people. So there's an element of repeated exposure, repeatedly getting the message into the same people's heads. If our direct mail is not going to the same people every 2 weeks, we're wasting our money. So when you do direct mail, you need to have the budget. You have to have the income to sustain the budget or have the budget in place to hit people every 2 weeks for 18 months. That's just to get it going. So that's just the frequency and the consistency. That is not even talking about the message or where you're driving people to. We're just talking about, or who to get it to. We're just talking about frequency and consistency. So when we do things like just listed postcards or just sold, well, or around the area, well, okay, maybe some of that, but I would do it just around like the 10 houses around each house. I wouldn't go beyond that. And what we would do is we would do the 10 houses around each listing that we listed and then sold. And then we would keep them on our direct mail campaign. It wasn't a one-off and go. We wanted to build on what we were doing. So should you spend money on targeted direct mail? Yes, with a plan. And that plan depends on you and your budget. So this person who asked me the question, she said, the direct mail I'm looking at will eat up most of my budget within 5 months. She had a budget, and since it's going to eat up most of her budget within 5 months and not allow her to do any other type of lead generation, in her case, I would say no. So let me read this whole question to you again so you know what I'm saying no to. Should we spend money on targeted direct mail? My office manager is really pushing it. The direct mail I'm looking at will eat up most of my budget within 5 months, most of her entire lead generation budget. She doesn't have a consistent income yet from real estate coming in. So in her case, I would say no. She needs to start trading more time for money. So instead of spending money, she needs to be out there using her time to leverage it. So, and use that money to reinforce what she's already doing. So in this case, it would be a no. But in general, you guys, direct mail is kind of awesome. So let me give you some tips for some direct mail, okay? First of all, for direct mail, you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, it is not a one-off. Ever. You never want a one-off. You don't even want a two-off. And what I mean by that is you don't do a direct mail campaign that hits somebody once or twice. Okay. You need to have a direct mail campaign that hits them for 12 to 18 months is minimum. 18 months. And you need it at least twice a month. These things where we start spending the money on these newsletters that go out once a month to neighborhoods. Do you know how long it takes to start getting a real response from that? And usually it's canned crap too. So excuse my phrase, but it is. So make sure that what you're doing, you have a plan in place that you never stop. Because if you stop, you just lost your momentum. If you break, like 1 month you don't have the income to do it, you just lost your momentum. So you lost all the previous months that you just did. Yeah, consistency, absolutely. So you guys, you need to make sure that you have that in place before you start something like direct mail. But here's also the other thing. You need to treat direct mail exactly like you would treat online lead generation. And here's what I mean. This isn't just about, now I know Bobby said consistency, look, and branding with your website. There's that. But what's more important is you need to show people they have problems and solve them. You need to get a message across to them. So beyond the logo and beyond the branding, you need to actually help them in your direct mail. This isn't just about throwing data or stats at them. This isn't just about, hey, look at me, I'm here and available to do listings or whatever. If you want a good response, this is the direct response part of it. You actually need to have a message, a problem solution for them. And then you need to drive them back into your email database, back into with a call to action, so that you can then connect with them on a second level. The ideal connection is snail mail, email, and phone. That three is the trifecta. But if you're starting out with direct mail and you're trying, it's a lead generation process to get them into another way to connect with them. Sorry, the connection's bouncing back and forth weak. So you guys, when you're doing that, you need to have that plan in place. It works, but your message needs to be solid. One of the best campaigns we ever did, and I'm hoping you're getting this, but one of the best campaigns that we ever did was for a property management company. And it was so, he's outside. Hey, me again. So one of the best campaigns that we ever did was, for our property management company. And let me share it with you. First of all, we were targeting out-of-state owners. Okay. We wanted to manage their properties. So, this is what we did. We created 4 questions out-of-state owners have when they're trying to find out who's going to manage their properties. 4 questions. That's it. Okay. So we did 4 questions and we provided the answer. Very short, very succinct. We did it on a postcard and we sent it out once a week for 4 weeks. And then we repeated immediately once a week for 4 weeks. So we did once a week for 8 weeks. We did the same 4 postcards, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, and then repeated the exact same 4 postcards to those. And then after we were done adding those people in, we would put them on a twice a month. Here's what's going on in the area, things that they were related to, their questions that they had. Now, because we were a property management company and a real estate team, you know, it was awesome because if they wanted to sell, we got those leads as well. That was one of our most successful campaigns because we simplified it. Super easy. Figured out what their 4 main questions were and just repeated the process. The easiest, simplest campaign that we've ever done. And that was fabulous. And so when that was successful, I switched a lot of our other stuff to fit that. So that's the thing. We tend to give data when we actually need to be solving problems. So we need to identify the problem of our avatar, of our person, and we need to solve it. So if you're farming a neighborhood, don't just think about the problems that they have in selling. You want them contextual. I'm a big advocate of making sure that you stay in context with the services that you offer, but what are other things they tend to do? So, what are the things that they tend to have questions about? What are those kinds of things that they struggle with? So if you do problem solution, just do 4 simple ones and get it in front of them. So that's what we did. But the key guys is when you're doing direct mail, the absolute key is you must have a budget in place to hit them at least twice a month for a minimum of 18 months with something that's valuable, not just data, not just stats. Translate it. And you want to get them into the next step. You always want to have a next step. You want to get them to either call you or get their name in your email database. Yeah, Catherine, the live video interrupted that happens a lot. And sometimes it's unrelated to me. It's just Facebook. So you just kind of have to hang on and refresh. Do refreshing too. That helps. The other thing, can you recap 4 steps questions? I'm not sure. I'm just kind of talking and sharing things. So I'm not sure which 4 steps. Oh, you're talking about the DNM. Okay, so the property management company, what we did was we found 4, we nailed it down to 4 main questions that we get asked that out-of-state owners have for our property management company. Those 4 main questions, and we gave them the answer on a postcard. That was it. So we just repeated it. So we had to go out 8 times. So 1 through 4, and then 1 through 4, 8 weeks in a one per week for 8 weeks in a row. That's kind of called an 8x8, or Keller Williams calls them 8x8s. Then we immediately added them to a twice a month mailing thereafter, which we already had in place. It was just our standard, that we created standard mailing. So when you do that, we got properties like crazy, and to this day, every time the property management company wants to do a burst of properties into the management company, they mail out that exact same campaign. That campaign is like 8 or 9 years old now. Exact same campaign. Mail it out. It works every single time. But they continue to do the other mailers to all the people. So it works very well. Any other questions, you guys? So really, the whole question is, should we spend money on targeted direct mail? It really depends on where you are and if you have the budget to do so. In this case, this person would have run out of her entire lead generation budget in 5 months. So no, I would tell her no. But then there's the whole element, her office manager is really pushing it. I would, in a very kind way, respectful way, tell her office manager to go take a hike. It's not her business, not her money. It's really easy for someone outside of us to tell us how we should spend our money. Really easy, because their dinner doesn't ride on the results. Yours does. So you make sure that whatever you're doing and whatever you're going to do works for you, works for your budget, and you actually know it will work. There's enough data out there to show that direct mail works and how it works and what you have to do to make it work. It's great, guys. It's a great way to, if you're a little bit more of an introvert, it's a fabulous way. It's also a fabulous way to drive people in that maybe aren't online or just need another reminder of who you are and where you are. And remember, your direct mail is not going to be, here's me. Your direct mail is not, I'm available. Your direct mail is, here's a problem that I think you're having, and here's the solution. That's what it is. It's problem solution. Always. You want to help them, and you want to drive them into the next way for you to communicate with them. That is the goal. That is the goal. Any other thoughts, you guys? Any other input? Have you experienced something different? When you've done any type of mailing, you always want to do 6 to 8, always, preferably 8 in a row. So if you're doing a mailing and you want to get, put stuff out there and you want to get listings, these one-offs, I cannot tell you how many one-off mailings. I can always tell when people are a little bit desperate, when realtors are a little bit desperate, because even as realtors, we would get other realtors stuff constantly because we're homeowners. So we would get it and people wouldn't filter that out, but that's okay. You get these random stuff and you'd open it and you go, well, what is their message? What are they saying? It just goes right in the trash because they're not doing anything, not providing any information. They're just basically saying, here I am. And nobody cares about, there you are. They want to know what you can do for them. Not listing their house isn't doing something for them. Solving a problem, that is doing something for them. So solve their problems. Help them. Help them understand things. Take them on the journey. Don't just say, hey, I'm available when you decide to sell. Help them decide whether to sell or not. Help them on that journey. And that is a big key. This whole thing that I'm talking about, this applies to every single thing you do when you're lead generating, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's direct mail, whether you're going door to door, whether you're doing phone calls, whether you're at networking events, whatever it is, the goal is not to get exposure. The goal is not to believe in the idea of repetition. The goal is not to get your name out there. The goal is to flip and help people, you guys. That's the goal. That's how people remember you. If you want to be top of mind awareness, I hate that phrase. But if you want to be top of mind awareness, guess what? You got to solve problems. You got to help them. You got to wow them. And the only way to wow them is to help them through a journey that maybe they don't understand, help them solve a problem that they've been thinking about and aren't quite sure how to solve. That helps stay top of mind. Only briefly. You got to keep helping them because you're not going to stay top of mind. You are not going to do a mailing. And I guarantee if you are not working to stay top of mind and you're mailing something to somebody once a month, and I would be willing to, well, I know they are. They're listing with other people. That's why people that are family or friends end up listing with other people because we think letting them know that we're a realtor once or twice is implied that they remember that. They don't. You need to help them solve problems. Whether you're using direct mail, whether you're using Facebook ads, you've got to solve problems. Problem solution. That is everything. And you need to have, of course, you need to have like a call to action and direct response. But the whole point is, if you want people to know you, like you, trust you, love you, use you, you got to solve their problems. You got to make it easy for them to go, oh yeah, that's who I want to go to. That's the expert. Does that make sense, you guys? I'm going to get your feedback. Does that make sense? Do you guys kind of understand that? Nancy's like, I missed the first 20 minutes. Did you answer, does direct mail work? Yes, I did, Nancy. So I did quite a bit. So I don't want to waste my money and time. I got into some pretty detailed how to make it work. And when you should do it, when you shouldn't do it, all that kind of stuff. So I did get into that. So you might want to watch this in replay because Nancy, I think I should turn this into probably a powwow training for members. Hi, Jerry. So I should turn this into a powwow training. I'm going to get it transcribed so I have the notes because I was really fleshing out this topic here on Ribbit. I'm called Ribbit now. I'm calling this Ribbit. My son is cracking up at me, but I love it. Watch the replay. I like it because I like my frog. I like frogs. Do you know why frogs are awesome, you guys? This is totally off the wall, but you know why frogs are awesome? Because they eat what bugs them. The reason I am using a frog as my kind of logo, my centerpiece, is because a frog knows how to target. When they're hungry and they flick that tongue out there, they're not random. They flick it, they catch a bug, they bring it in, they feed themselves. And that's the kind of lead generation I want to teach you guys how to do. That's what you need to do. They are targeted. They know where it is. They grab it, they bring it in, they eat it. It's super easy. I mean, that's their focus. Their focus, and they don't waste any time. Boom, 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 boom. They get it. Unless, of course, you put an iPad. If you guys have seen the video, you put an iPad in front of them and they're playing with the bug things. But that's just trick. So that's the point that I want you guys to get, that you can do lead generation in a way that's very targeted. You're not wasting your money. You're not wasting your time. And you're getting the people that you want to work with. Want to work with is key. That's what I want to show you guys. Yeah, some like Nancy's questions, it's so weird. They're not showing up on the phone, but they're showing up on the computer. I really need to make sure I have that computer with me every time I do this live. Any other questions on this, you guys? Any other questions in general? Just random stuff. I mean, this was kind of a big subject and I probably have a lot more to go into. So when I get this transcript back from this live, I probably will do a training for my FDS members, which is awesome. I love my members. And I will probably also write a training article either for my Leads and Leverage website or for Inman, one of those two. But if you have other questions, please ask me, whether related to direct mail or how you should spend your marketing money or not. It doesn't matter. I'm doing a live stream every single day, 4 to 5 days a week. And I want to help you. That is my goal. Obviously the live streams are my time for you, but that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. And by helping you, it's really kind of fabulous because you help me gain clarity on how to verbalize things, how to help you, things like that. So what other questions do you have? Do you have questions? Do you have thoughts? What are you feeling? Mary, are you still here? And did I give you some energy? Woohoo, I hope I did. I hope so. That's my goal. Any thoughts, you guys? I'm going to actually be quiet for a minute. I need a drink of water and I want to know what you guys are thinking. I'm looking at the computer to look at comments and I'm also looking here. So pop those comments in. Let me know. Excuse me. Let me know. Yes, let me know. Comment. For all you lurkers out there that I don't know you're here, Mary's here still. Awesome. Let me know you're here. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm totally off the wall? I mean, you can think that. I was just curious. Is there something that you think there's something missing in me explaining it? Oh, Mary's kind of tired after watching it. No, it's supposed to like energize you. I'm not sucking your energy. I'm giving you energy. And so like this is going to sound hokey, but close your eyes and just let yourself take in that energy and then push it out another way. You know what? Go 30 minutes right now. It's probably dying and where you're at, but heat wise, but I would say go out in nature, and you're probably going to kill yourself. I mean, like the heat will kill you because I know it's out crazy out there, but get out in nature for 30 minutes. Seriously, any way you can. Okay, so Tammy asks, talk about a Q&A for postcards not related to property management. Well, it's exactly the same thing. I didn't actually give you the questions. We just figured out for who we were mailing to, what questions they have. What are the most common questions? So what are the most common questions you get when people maybe email you or call you outside of how much is that house or what's the address of that house? What is the most common question you get from prospective buyers or sellers? So that's what you want to do. And remember, if you're going to direct mail, you're probably direct mailing to sellers. So you want to think of, what are some of those questions that they would have in a neighborhood? Maybe the neighborhood that you're targeting is being affected by some eminent domain or outside building along the outsides of the neighborhood, or maybe there's an assisted living facility going in nearby, or maybe there's low income housing going in nearby. Things like that, things related to try and be a little bit more evergreen though, so something that's going to continue to be a question. So, that's what, and I'm not saying you have to do postcards. I'm not saying it doesn't have to look like mine. My point is how simple it was. And the fact that we just did problem solution. That's what we did. We spent the time to sit down and figure out what problems or what questions they had. So let me get a whole bunch of questions. Yep. Tammy had examples. Yeah, Mary says, people will tell you you're crazy if you're doing something different. So don't tell them if that will bug you. Exactly. But you know what? Think frog. Eat what bugs them. Okay, so Haley, sorry. Should postcards be for neighborhood farm or for your sphere mailing list or both? You shouldn't even think direct mail until you have the budget to sustain it twice a month for 18 months. Secondly, you should definitely be mailing people who already have a connection with you first. You need that foundation built first. You need to have the twice a month foundation built before you do any prospecting outside of that foundation. And that's pretty much your sphere. People you already know that are in your market. Don't be mailing postcards outside of your market unless you work with out-of-state sellers. That was our thing. We worked with out-of-state sellers. So we did mail outside of our market, but you don't. You focus on homeowners in your market. Don't focus on random people. Mary says, I'm not leaving my house for at least a week. I know, 115 degrees every day. I saw a picture, Mary. It was like 125 degrees the other day on some sign. That was insane. Mary's in Arizona. People are dying. I'll die walking to the mailbox. Yeah, that's what I meant. Stay inside. So, you know what? Find a Netflix channel that's like a nature path or something. That doesn't really get you out to smell and feel it, but oh well. Just get some sun. And I know you've got a lot of it, so that's awesome. Okay, let me look on questions. I can't see past questions. So if somebody asked a question and I didn't catch it because I want to answer everything. I didn't catch it just because it didn't show up here on my phone, but it showed up on the computer, and now I can only see the 4 most recent questions. So please ask me your question again. I want to get that for you. Totally makes sense? Okay, yeah. So definitely you want to start with your foundation first. How about out-of-state owners when the market inventory is low? Yeah or nay? Okay, don't react. Don't react in that way. And so you start with your foundation and build from there. If you can't sustain your foundation, you shouldn't be focusing on out-of-state owners. If your avatar is not an out-of-state owner, if they live in the area, focus on there. It is really a different ball game. We worked very heavily with out-of-state owners. We had a whole system in place where people never even saw the properties that they bought and then sold. Never even saw them. That was a totally different, these were investor owners. It's a completely different thing. So we work where you feel like you can serve best. That's where you need to be working. We were better that way because we were investor owners ourselves. We understood the process. We understood what it meant to own property somewhere where we'd never seen it and how to do all that. So we understood all that. So we felt like we could relate to them. So make sure that you are working where you feel best, where you're most comfortable and you have the best knowledge and the people that you like to work with the best. One of the reasons that I have never gotten into social media as a whole is, one, I don't think we should be everywhere, first of all, as agents. And second, because I have always felt Facebook is the most powerful for our real estate business. That's where everybody is. So that's one of the reasons that I don't, even though people are in these different places, that's why I don't touch on Twitter and why I don't touch on LinkedIn and why I don't talk about Pinterest and why I don't talk about Instagram, because those are peripheral. Those are extraneous. Those are not your foundation when it comes to online lead generation. So that's why so the same thing with you guys, okay? Don't be looking for all these different things. Stay on your path. Our paths can often be boring. They're often unsexy, if you will. We get tired of them, but we need to stay on our path because it works. Consistency and repetition, it takes time. It takes time. You're not going to know if something works, especially direct mail. You are not going to know if direct mail works for at least 12 to 18 months, which is why if you cannot sustain it, don't do it. And think about it. Think about it, guys. If you're doing really great in July and August, but you kind of suck in December and January, do you have enough reserves to cover December, January, February, March of your direct mail, of your whole campaign, and not just direct mail, but your whole campaign? Make sure you can sustain it. If you're going to think about it, sustain it. Don't waste your money. So many agents are afraid to spend $100 to test a Facebook ad, but they're okay with spending $1,000 on a 1 or 2 time mailing on direct mail. I don't get it. I don't understand it. So just don't do that. Don't do that. Any other questions, you guys? Now that I'm kind of getting on my soapbox. Anything else? It can be related to direct mail or face. I don't care what it's related to. I love answering questions. If I know it, I'll help you with it. If I don't know it, I'll point you in the direction of someone who does. And if you're watching this in replay or live, whoever's watching this, let me know you're here. Let me know. I can't remember what my question of the day was now. I've talked about so much. If anybody remembers what my question of the day was, I know it was something like, okay, Nancy. Nancy says, I was informed my office is going to get AdWorks for free. If it is free, shall I use it in addition to FDS? Should I use it in addition to FDS? Okay, so here's the thing. Free is good in most cases. At the same time, free is not good if it doesn't work. And what AdWorks does now, unless they've changed this, what they do is they basically put a business card ad out for you. It's basically a billboard with no real good targeting and no good direct response problem solution message with a call into a database. There's no step-by-step process. So I would be very, very careful with using it for free, because I mean, you could, but I would really make sure you design that ad. Hopefully they give you the freedom to design the ad the way that will actually work for you. So if they do, then do it. That was one of the things we just made sure to never really participate in if I couldn't have control over how it will bring in leads. Because for me, if it does not have a direct, tangible into my database way I can track it, it sucks. So I'm not going to do it. So you don't, even if it's free, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to waste my time doing it. And sometimes those free can actually harm what's working. So be very careful with that when you're doing that, Nancy. That's right. Superpower. I forgot about that, Mary. So my superpower is not strangling people. My superpower is not strangling people when they forget something I've told them 83 times. Okay, well, I'm really glad because sometimes I have to be told multiple times. Sorry. Yeah. Catherine's like, thanks. I love short, punchy sessions where you get a few gold nuggets in 15 minutes. Yep. That's what live streams are supposed to be. Sometimes if you're watching them on replay, they can be longer because I need to wait. I need to bring people in a little bit, and then so that people can come and talk to me. And then I can do the session, and then we can do Q&A. Let's see. Any other? Okay. Nancy got it. Perfect. So, and Nancy, you can dive deeper inside FDS. I don't know what your controllability, I don't know what you can control in those. So I say that with a little bit of a caveat. I just know that what I have seen from them has all been about like a billboard, business card, splash, they call them top of mind awareness, things like that. And quite frankly, that stuff sucks and people are still using it. They're still talking about it and it doesn't actually work. You're going to get some random anecdotal stuff that works once in a while. And then people go, oh yeah, but it works because, you know, 1% out of a million actually made it work. So just so you're right. And a lot of people are happy with something that actually doesn't produce results. They're happy with something that just gets their name out there because they have a perception, but no real tracking. So that's my key with that. So that's a good one, Cheris. So what if agents have free Playster sites through their brokerage, but they aren't going to be using them primarily? What should they do with them? Just say no. So the reason, guys, the only reason that I say to wait to use a Playster site, well, there's two reasons. The first one is they cannot be Facebook pixeled. And if you're running Facebook ads and you want targeted traffic to that site the best way possible through ads, then you don't want to use that until they have the ability to make sure that you can put your Facebook pixel on your site. That's the first reason, okay? The second reason of this is you don't own the real estate. Playster is an awesome opportunity to get a very inexpensive site up and running, but you can't drive targeted Facebook traffic to it. You can through ads, but you can't retarget. The power in Facebook is being able to get people through retargeting. That will get you leads, good ones, okay? So you can't do that right now on Playster sites. Until they let you put your Facebook pixel on them, I say no to them. Okay. And I am sure they're going that direction. It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't be. I don't know. I don't work for Playster. I'm not part of that, but you can't at this present moment. So that's the number one reason. And the second reason, guys, you don't own it. You don't own the real estate. You are parking your business on someone else's platform. Playster is someone else's platform. Facebook is someone else's platform. So if you don't have a hub for your business on something that you own and you control, for example, a WordPress site, you own it, you control it, you have it self-hosted. If you're not parking your business like that, you are leaving yourself open to a whole lot of headache. No, Haley, you cannot retarget through a free WordPress blog, and you do not want to be using the free one. You want to get the free WordPress, but you want to do self-hosted. So WordPress.org versus WordPress.com. Okay, so you want to own it. You don't want it because what you're doing is you're driving traffic to WordPress, not to your own space that you can actually pixel and do traffic with and do analytics. Not only that, there's a lot of plugins, most plugins for WordPress you're not going to get. So you need to get it onto your own site, which is just involves buying a domain and getting a hosting service. That's what it involves. That's the overview of what it involves. But you need to own the real estate and you need to be able to pixel it. Absolutely. And expand it. That's a second thing is, expand it. When you're using something like Playster or another kind of template site, you are locked into what they offer. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. We're not there to be tech experts, but as things change, because things change, 5 years ago, mobile wasn't even, we didn't really need to think about mobile. To make sure our sites were mobile responsive, but now it's mandatory. Google won't rank you if you're not mobile responsive. And people aren't going to use your site. So people who are built on platforms that didn't adjust with the times, they're out of luck. They had to build new platforms. So you want to make sure you own that real estate and it's expandable and you can do what you need to do as times change. Tammy says, pixel it. Okay, it's pixel it, Tammy, means to, when people visit your website or a page on your website, an audience, you've created an audience inside your Facebook Power Editor that's keeping track of the people who have visited your site. So then you can run ads to that audience. That's retargeting. And that's huge because if they've been there, they're interested. So then you run a relevant ad and then you go, and they're like, oh yeah, I need to go back or I need to do whatever. That's what pixeling is. So Mark Jones says, is there a good tutorial on how to retarget? I don't have one outside of FDS and I'm trying to think of, John Loomer did digital. He's awesome. He's starting to have some training for beginners. And it's very, very data driven, It's not, he doesn't filter through what you actually need to know for your real estate business versus like everything. So you could do that, but it might be a bit overwhelming for him. You can also come to the trainings. That is a great one. I can talk about a retargeting, a good tutorial on how to retarget. In fact, I'm going to write that down as a topic option. Good tutorial on retargeting. Tutorial on retargeting. Okay. And so we'll talk about that one later. Will it hurt them to have the Playster site just sitting out there if they aren't driving traffic to it? They don't want it. Tell them to opt out. Well, you don't drive traffic to it, and they never want to build any content on it. And I'll tell you why, because you want everything you do to be in one place. That is for it. It builds on itself and for maximum effect. Otherwise, you're just, this whole idea of putting your eggs in different baskets and diversification. It's kind of bad if you don't actually have a solid place that you're putting stuff. So you do want all your eggs in one basket when it comes to your site. And until that basket is just growing and creating a whole bunch of baby chicks who are creating more eggs for you, you don't want to be spreading yourself then. So as long as they just do their basic profile stuff, let it go. Cool on Tammy. Mari says, I joined late, but I need to learn more about Facebook pixels. Okay, and that's actually not what we're talking about today. So we will talk about pixels on another call. I'm writing these down. Facebook pixels, not another call, another live stream. So I have more topics for you guys, and I'll be putting this week's schedule. I have tomorrow's scheduled, and then I'll have 3 more scheduled for this week. All right, you guys, I actually have to go because I have a live event for my Facebook Domination Secret members. So if you're a member, go into the events inside our membership, and we're going to do the live Q&A, the FDS Live or the Facebook Live. If you're not a member, I put a link at the text up here. You're welcome to join us. We would love to have you. We go deep, we learn stuff, and we just rock it. Got some agents in there that are doing really awesome. And we've got a lot of agents in there. We got a lot of agents learning and just implementing piece by piece. So anyway, it was awesome being with you guys today. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow. And I don't remember, I think tomorrow is a little bit of time stuff. How much time should I be spending on blogging or online lead generation, things like that? We're gonna talk about that. Okay, guys? I will see you tomorrow. Have a fabulous day today and get out there and rock it. Talk to you later.